came about?
Well, I think obviously there was a lot of talk about who Gennady Golovkin would fight. I think everyone was kind of like waiting on Canelo, you know. There was a big logjam because people wanted to see what he wanted to do, and I think it was a situation where Gennady had the chance to take the control himself and say, okay, this opportunity come around to fight Derevyanchenko. I've been talking to Gennady for a long time. You know, we talked about working together, co-promoting. It was a great idea. I helped make this fight with DAZN, with Keith Connolly and Lou DiBella, and everything came together, and now he fights for a version of the world middleweight title, which I think is very important, because you can say that the belts don't matter, but once you hold a piece of the world middleweight championship, of course, it's important. So this was the right thing to do. It's a great fight, and I would look forward to October 5th.
So you basically got control of the whole middleweight division, in a sense, because you got all the champions.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think DAZN, you know, and now you look at the division and you look at the peripheries of the division. Okay, so let's look at even Jamie Munguia, who's obviously with Golden Boy, but he's with DAZN. You look at Canelo, Gennady Golovkin, Demetrius Andrade. Let's now look at Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith. You know, they're both with DAZN as well. Daniel Jacobs. It's a great little mix of fights there, and obviously we have to make sure that they actually fight each other. It's one thing having great fights on the platform, fighters on the platform. You've got to have great fights on the platform. But with all those guys, we've got to be looking to match Callum Smith against Danny Jacobs, or Canelo against Demetrius Andrade, and all those fights have got to come together.
Hey Eddie, just to switch the topic real quick, there's been reports that it's a possibility that you could sign Mikey Garcia. His trainer, brother Robert Garcia, said that you guys made him a huge offer.
I saw that, one that he couldn't really turn down. He sort of gave his hand away there a little bit. I've now reduced the offer, since he said that. I haven't really. But look, I've been talking to Mike. A year ago, I sat down with Mikey Garcia when DAZN launched. And he looked at me when I started talking about DAZN like I was mad. He didn't know who I was. He didn't know who DAZN was. And I said to him, in 1 year, promise me I'll show you where we'll be. Well, we're 10 months in, and there's a lot of big news coming. It's not just Mikey Garcia, it's 5 or 6 other guys now looking to jump ship to DAZN. We made a huge investment, and I was probably a little bit naive that I thought that the other promoters and the other networks would just roll over and they'd look at the money and say, they stepped up as well. They paid the money. So it's been a little bit more difficult than we thought it would be, but we're still spending the money. We've still got it. In fact, I haven't spent it all. I've got a lot of spare cash floating around from the budget. No, not yet, but we can talk later. You never know. But so we've been smart to a level. We've been a little bit reckless, which we had to be, because we had to make an impact on the market. But now we've got the fighters, now we've got the subscribers, now we've got the platform. It's a lot easier to go to fighters, and deals that were offered to fighters at a certain point aren't now on the table for those fighters, because now we've got to be a little bit smarter and say, okay, who's actually delivering? And when I say by delivering, who's putting bums on seats? Who's driving subscriber numbers? Who's driving audience numbers? Now we actually start looking at that more closely. Fighters that might have contracts coming up, fighters we might have offered deals to before. Are they going to deliver? Because now we've made the impact. We've got a great position in the marketplace. Now we've got to keep delivering on subscriber numbers and audience numbers. So we've got to be a little bit more tactical on where we're spending our money.